The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Velthar of the Zentari Empire stood before the assembled delegates. His crystalline form reflected the soft blue lighting of the station, casting prismatic shadows across the marble floor. Around him sat representatives from 47 different species, each more exotic than the last. There were the floating jellyfish-like aquari, the insectoid creche with their compound eyes, and the massive rock-like gorathons who communicated through subsonic rumbles. "We have called this emergency session," Velthar announced, his voice carrying the musical quality of his people, "because we face an unprecedented threat. The Dravakian warlords have issued a challenge to the Council's authority. They demand we prove our strength by presenting our most fearsome predator in single combat against their champion beast." Murmurs rippled through the assembly. The Dravakians were a warrior culture obsessed with strength and conquest. Their champion beast, a creature they called the Razor Claw, had never been defeated. It stood 3 meters tall, possessed armor-plated skin that could deflect plasma bolts, and claws that could slice through reinforced steel like paper. "Each member world may present one candidate," Velthar continued. "The creature that defeats the Razor Claw will bring honor to its world and demonstrate the Council's strength." One by one, delegates began describing their world's most dangerous predators. The Aquari spoke of their electro-serpents that could generate enough voltage to power a small city. The creche presented hollows of their hive warriors with mandibles that crushed stone. The Gorathons offered their magma worms that swam through molten rock. Then all eyes turned to the human delegation. Marcus Chen sat quietly in his seat, a slight smile playing at the corners of his mouth. At 42 years old, he'd served as Earth's representative to the Galactic Council for 5 years. In that time, he'd learned that most species in the galaxy viewed humans as soft, weak creatures. Earth was a garden world by galactic standards, with comfortable temperatures, abundant water, and relatively docile wildlife compared to the hellscapes many other species called home. "And what of Earth?" Velthar asked, his tone barely concealing his skepticism. "What predator do the humans offer?" Marcus stood slowly, adjusting his crisp diplomatic uniform. "We accept the challenge, Ambassador. I will need 3 standard days to arrange transport of our candidate." The creche delegate, a being called Chketh, clicked his mandibles in what passed for laughter among his kind. "The humans? What will you bring, one of your domesticated canines? Perhaps a feline?" The chamber erupted in chittering, whistling, and rumbling laughter. Marcus smiled wider. "Oh, nothing so mundane, I assure you. Earth has predators that have remained virtually unchanged for millions of years because evolution found no way to improve upon perfection." 3 days later, the combat arena was packed. Species from across the sector had come to witness the spectacle. The arena itself was a massive dome, 200 meters in diameter, with adaptable environmental controls. One half had been flooded with water at Marcus's specific request, creating a murky pool 10 meters deep. The other half remained a sandy shore with scattered rocks and vegetation. The Razor Claw was brought out first. The crowd roared its approval as the massive beast prowled onto the sand. It walked on 6 powerful legs, its body covered in overlapping black plates that gleamed like obsidian. Twin rows of teeth lined its elongated snout, and its eyes glowed a malevolent red. It let out a roar that shook the arena's shields. Then came Earth's champion. The transport container was lowered into the pool end of the arena. It was large, nearly 8 meters long and 2 meters wide, made of reinforced durasteel. Warning labels in multiple languages covered every surface. "That container seems excessive for any creature that could fit inside," observed the Aquari delegate from the viewing box. Marcus leaned back in his seat, completely relaxed. "Humans learned long ago that some things require an abundance of caution. We call it respecting nature." The container's front panel opened slowly, sliding into the water with barely a splash. For a long moment, nothing happened. The crowd grew restless. The razor claw paced at the water's edge, snorting and pawing at the sand. Then the water rippled. A log-like shape drifted toward the shore, so still it might have been debris. Only Marcus noticed the way several delegates leaned forward, their various sensory organs focused on that shape. Some of them, the ones from water worlds or those with better pattern recognition, were beginning to understand. The razor claw, emboldened by the apparent lack of opposition, waded into the shallow water. It bent its head to drink, a gesture of dominance and contempt. The log exploded into motion. What happened next took less than 3 seconds. But those 3 seconds would be replayed in slow motion across the galaxy for years to come. The saltwater crocodile's tail propelled it forward with shocking speed, its jaws opening to reveal rows of conical teeth designed for one purpose: gripping and never letting go. The razor claw tried to turn, tried to bring its claws to bear, but it was already too late. The crocodile's jaws closed around the razor claw's foreleg with 68,000 newtons of bite force, the strongest bite force of any living creature on Earth. The razor claw's supposedly impenetrable armor crumpled like aluminum foil. The alien beast roared in pain and shock, thrashing wildly. But the crocodile was already doing what millions of years of evolution had perfected: the death roll. It spun with incredible force, leveraging its entire body weight and the water's resistance. The razor claw's leg tore away with a sickening crunch. Purple blood clouded the water. The arena fell absolutely silent except for the splashing and the alien beast's screams. The crocodile didn't pause. It didn't roar or posture. It simply continued its attack with the cold, mechanical efficiency of a perfect predator. When the razor claw tried to retreat, the crocodile surged forward with a speed that belied its size. 5.2 meters of muscle, scale, and prehistoric fury launched itself halfway onto the shore, catching the razor claw by the throat. Another death roll. This time, something in the razor claw's neck gave way with a crack that echoed through the arena. The fight was over. The crocodile dragged its prize back into the water and simply waited, floating motionless as a log once more, waiting for any sign of movement. Waiting with the patience of a creature that could remain still for hours, days if necessary, conserving energy until the moment came to strike. The arena remained silent for a full minute. Then Velthar's voice, shaken and quiet, announced, "Earth's champion is victorious." The viewing box erupted in chaos. Delegates shouted questions, demanded information, and frantically pulled up data files on Earth's fauna. Marcus sat calmly, watching his champion float peacefully in the bloodied water. "What is that thing?" Keith demanded, his earlier mockery completely absent. "No creature should be that efficient, that brutal." Marcus pulled up a holographic display. Images of saltwater crocodiles appeared, showing them in their natural habitat, lurking in rivers, dragging water buffalo underwater, leaping clear out of the water to catch prey. "This is Crocodilus porosus, the saltwater crocodile," Marcus explained, his voice taking on the tone of a lecturer. "They've existed largely unchanged for approximately 94 million years. They can grow up to 7 meters long and weigh over 1,000 kilograms. They have the strongest bite force of any animal on our planet. They can swim at speeds up to 29 kilometers per hour in short bursts. They can hold their breath for up to 7 hours. They can go up to a year without eating." He paused, letting the information sink in. "But most importantly, they are ambush predators with the patience of stones and the explosiveness of plasma charges. They are perfect killing machines, refined by millions of years of evolution. And what you saw today? That was a small one. A juvenile, really. We didn't want to risk bringing one of the truly large specimens. Too dangerous." The Gorathar delegate, a being who communicated through a translator implant, rumbled, You said this creature is from your water systems. What lives on your land? Marcus smiled. Oh, we have those too. Bears, lions, tigers, leopards, wolves. Some hunt in packs with complex strategies. Others are solitary stalkers. We have snakes that can kill with venom in minutes, spiders whose bites cause necrosis, jellyfish whose stings are agonizing and often fatal, octopi that can change color, shape, and texture to ambush prey. But your world is a garden world, protested the equarry. Temperate, comfortable. How did such predators evolve in paradise? That's the thing, Marcus replied softly. To you, Earth is paradise. To us, it's home. We evolved alongside these creatures. We survived the same environments that created them. Do you want to know what makes humans truly dangerous? He gestured to the crocodile, now being carefully secured by robotic handlers in the arena below. That creature? We catch those. With our bare hands sometimes, though we prefer tools. We study them, tag them, release them. Some humans keep smaller versions as pets. We swim in waters where they hunt. We live beside them. And yes, some of us get eaten. But we learned. We adapted. We became the apex predator of a world full of apex predators. The chamber remained quiet as delegates processed this information. They were reimagining their understanding of humans. These weren't soft creatures from a gentle world. They were survivors of a planet that had tried everything to kill them and failed. Velthar approached Marcus privately after the session. You've made your point, Ambassador Chen. Earth's petition for a permanent Security Council seat will be approved. But I must ask, are all creatures on your world so terrifying? Marcus laughed. Actually, we also have creatures called pandas that eat bamboo and fall out of trees a lot, and dolphins that appear friendly but are actually quite vicious, and there are these birds called cassowaries. Oh, and let me tell you about hippos. He paused, enjoying the crystalline being's discomfort. But honestly, the scariest predator on Earth is us, humans. We hunted the mammoths to extinction. We tamed wolves into dogs. We looked at horses and decided we'd ride them. We saw fire and decided to control it. We reached a point where we could destroy our entire planet multiple times over and chose not to. And that crocodile? Velthar asked quietly. The one that just destroyed our greatest challenger in seconds? We could kill it easily if we wanted to, Marcus said matter-of-factly. But we choose to protect them instead. That's what makes humans truly terrifying, Ambassador. It's not our strength. It's our choice. We decide what lives and what doesn't. We decide when to be merciful and when to bring overwhelming force. We're not the strongest species in our ecosystem, but we're the smartest. And that made all the difference. Down in the arena, the saltwater crocodile floated peacefully, eyes barely above the water's surface, waiting with the patience of ancient stone. It had done what evolution designed it to do. It had no concept of galactic politics or interstellar relations. It was simply a perfect machine, a reminder that Earth had spent billions of years perfecting the art of survival. And humanity had not only survived that crucible, but thrived in it. As the delegates filed out of the arena, many looked back at the human section with a new understanding, and perhaps a bit of healthy fear. Earth had seemed so peaceful, so welcoming when they first made contact. Now they understood the truth. Earth wasn't peaceful, despite its predators. Earth was peaceful because its dominant species had learned to coexist with creatures that could kill them in heartbeats. That required a special kind of strength. The kind of strength that came from knowing death intimately and choosing life anyway. The kind of strength that came from respecting nature's power rather than fearing it. As Marcus packed up his belongings and prepared for the transport home, he received a message on his communicator. It was from the Dravakian warlords. A simple statement. We withdraw our challenge. Earth has proven its point. Marcus smiled and forwarded the message to Earth's military command with a simple note attached. Sometimes the best weapon is showing you never needed to use your actual weapons. The saltwater crocodile was safely transported back to its home in northern Australia, completely unaware that it had just changed humanity's standing in galactic politics forever. It returned to its river, slipped beneath the surface, and went back to doing what it had done for 94 million years, waiting, watching, and surviving. And across the galaxy, species that had once dismissed humans as weak inhabitants of a garden world now looked at Earth with wary respect. Because any species that could produce creatures like that, and more importantly, any species that could survive alongside creatures like that, was not to be underestimated.